All right, the bonus show, Camille, is we thought we'd have time to get to the news from yesterday of the City Edition jersey leaks. And our conversation about the Knicks and 76ers just went too long. So taking a look at this leak, we're going to throw it up on the screen for those of you that have not seen it yet. I would assume the majority of Bucks fans viewing this have already seen it. But this is apparently going to be the City Edition jersey for the Bucks this season.
More blue.
A lot more blue. I mean, maybe it looks better when you actually see it on Giannis here. But we saw the leaks for all of these teams yesterday, and you and I were kind of talking about this before we started recording. I personally loved the blue jerseys when they first unveiled them, and just the subtle hint of blue in the new, not color scheme, but the new jerseys when those were unveiled already, 10 years ago, I think that was. And as soon as you saw it and Nike started to take over the partnership, you thought, I wonder if we'll see more emphasis on blue. And we got that. And I loved it. And now it's like we get to eat ice cream for dinner every single day where it's, well, I mean,
now we're tired of ice cream.
But can I just have protein and vegetables? Yeah, it's starting to be a little much for me. I've seen a lot of, what does the line even mean? And yeah, I don't know. But as the Bucks have done a pretty good job of throughout all of these City Edition jerseys, they walk you through the concept and explain what it means. So there is some type of tie-in. I don't know what it is. I'm curious to find out. But my overall thought on these is just, I feel like I'm blued out.
So I definitely get that. I was a big fan when the Bucks were having the cream jerseys, like the cream city jerseys, in addition to the fact that you don't see many teams wearing cream jerseys, but then it fits in with Milwaukee being cream city, so on and so forth. I loved those jerseys. And I was like, oh, this is cool to alternate between, year one blue, then one cream. But I think with the lack of cream jerseys over the last few years and it only being blue, has added into the getting burnt out on the blue. Now, I am curious to see what the shorts look like with the uniform, because that could bring it all together. The jersey alone, in my opinion, the jersey alone is mid. I think that the line on it looks kind of like the top of the state line and the state version of the Bucks logo that they have. So I do wonder if it's the outline of that particular part of their logo. It looks like the top of Wisconsin a little bit to me. So I do wonder what the shorts look like, if it's the rest of the state or something like that. But all in all, I'm also tired of just the consistent blue. Now, the Photoshop we do have here with the jersey on Giannis does look a little bit cleaner, which again, it might look better as a full uniform, but just seeing the jersey alone is uninspiring to me. And I want some more cream. And I know we heard before that part of the reason the Bucks went away from the cream was because the NBA has the on-court ads now, and the cream clashed. But I saw the Pistons leaked City Year jersey this year, and it looks cream to me. So now I got a problem, Justin. Now I got a problem because I want the Cream City jerseys back from Milwaukee.
Yeah, Dustin Godsey had mentioned that, of like, because there's a lot of feedback constantly. Hey, bring back the cream jerseys. And I mean, those are very clean, to be clear. But Dustin pointed out we can't do it for the reasons that you explained. And then we see the Pistons of all teams get to use cream. Top to bottom, just looking through these City Edition leaks, I mean, a lot of these are very uninspiring, and it feels like we're just tweaking one thing of an existing jersey that, when these first launched, and that's kind of the danger of new City Edition jerseys every single year is, I mean, how much more can we possibly tweak this thing? And I think that's where we're starting to get the Pacers. It's basically the same jersey as last year, only it's white instead of black. The Clippers, same story there. The Lakers, same thing there. The Grizzlies is a little different, but the Heat have their Heat culture jersey once again. The Bucks, as we just mentioned, has some hints to a lot of the previous blue jerseys. Even that Timberwolves Land of a 10,000 Lakes one feels very similar. Pelicans is very similar to what they did in years past. They just changed the color scheme. The Knicks is identical. It's white instead of black. That seems to be the common theme for a lot of these teams, is Same jersey template. Let's just change the color of the actual jersey.
Yeah, and they're kind of playing. I do like Cleveland's because the piping on the side of Cleveland's has like a lot of the logos for the
Yeah.
franchise over the year, while the front says the land in a really nice like baby blue sky blue color. But
Yeah.
when I was looking at them, I had the same feeling of like I don't. It's underwhelming. The full bunch of them. Like there are some jerseys and the designs where I'm like, okay, this is kind of cool. Like I mentioned, the Cavaliers one was one that stood out to me. But I do wonder if at this point the task of creating a new city edition jersey every single year has just caused some brain drain around the league and with Nike entirely. Like, I do wonder if we would have been better served if it's an every other year type of thing, just to add a bit more consistency into that as well. Because a complaint a lot of folks have had with the city edition jerseys as well is like it doesn't fit into the color scheme of the team. It doesn't have the brand awareness where you're looking at it like, oh, I can tell this is a Bucks jersey because you're used to seeing green or the cream or even black. So I do wonder if Nike would have been better off just doing every other year. Now, I know the answer would be no because it's about, getting the revenue and getting the money from the new jersey sales and things of that sort. But the designs just, I feel like they've overall, not just looking at the Bucks, just overall haven't been as good over the years as they have when they first started. I'm like, I remember the first Heat jersey where they had like the cutout letters of the different versions of the
The
Heat, and it was
ransom
just
note.
like the Vice jerseys where you're like, oh,
Yeah.
the pink, like it fits Miami Vice, so on and so forth. But then it just doesn't do as much for me anymore as it did before.
Some final thoughts on these jerseys and some leaks we saw for classic jerseys and why the Bucks apparently are not in that group. We'll get to that next on Locked On Bucks. Time to talk to you about our friends at Game Time, the best ticketing app service there is. You can get it for sports events, concerts, comedy, theater, you name it. If it requires a ticket, Game Time is the app to use to get that ticket. See your seat view, panoramic view from your seat within the app before you buy that ticket. Toggle on the all-in pricing feature that shows you the total upfront cost with no surprise fees at checkout. Lowest price guarantee. If you find those seats cheaper elsewhere, Game Time credits you 100%, 110% of the difference. And best of all, the purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem that code LOCKEDONNBA, LOCKEDONNBA, to get $20 off your first purchase. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game Time. As we wrap up here, Camille, the other thing to come out of this, we saw some of the classic edition jersey leaks as well. I think there was only 3 or 4, somewhere along those lines. Speaking of kind of going back to the drawing board, the Warriors doing the similar classic jersey that we've seen them kind of use in the past, just updating the colors on it. This is the white version of that jersey that they wore in the 60s. Mm-hmm. And it was, I think, the 21 season they first rolled this out. The Grizzlies going back to the Vancouver Grizzlies jerseys, which brings a tear to my eye as a child from the 90s. Yeah. Same with the Sacramento Kings, those 90s to early 2000s Kings, when you think about those playoff matchups with the Lakers. And the Raptors bringing back those 90s jerseys in the Vince Carter era. I think there's going to be a special Vince Carter tie-in as well.
I think the jersey number that the dunking Raptor has is 15, if I remember
15.
Correctly.
Yeah. That's the 30th year for the Raptors. Long story short, it's that we're getting to the point where all of the retro jerseys are the jerseys that we grew up with.
Pretty much. I mean, like, I could go for more purple Bucks jerseys myself I
loved them. Don't get me started, but there was a lot. Dave Kane, the biggest hater of the purple jerseys.
Of the purple. Now, I'm a big fan of the purple jerseys, but for the Bucks, just thinking about what else could they do. Like, one thing that I do love is the Suns, how they emphasize like the valley and it's like what it's called in the area. I'd be really cool. That's why I love the Cream City edition jerseys for the Bucks, because it felt like it had a real Milwaukee tie-in. I'd be interested in seeing how they could get off a jersey that had like the 414 area code on it, or if it said like the mill on it. Something again more Milwaukee grounded, but the color scheme is going to be the piece of it. I'm here for purple. I don't know if the Bucks would ever go back and do a throwback in the green and the red. I'm not sure how well that would be taken, because for the last time we had the red and green era, it just wasn't as well received.
I'm
But
good without it. Yeah.
yeah, but I mean, I would love to see the Irish rainbow come back, so on and so
Well,
forth.
that's where I thought we were headed with these city
Would love
edition
it.
jerseys when we said, all right, I feel like we've done everything under the sun in blue. We tried cream. We were told we can't do cream again. Black was initially one of the city edition jerseys. Now that's become, what is it, the statement or the earned or owned jersey. So I really thought, okay, we've got to be headed towards some type of Irish rainbow tie-in, or even a tie-in to the early red and green, similar to what they wore at the Return to Mecca game. Like, that's got to be what we're headed towards, and not. So as you mentioned, now we just kind of wait to see, what does the line represent? Is it part of the state, or is it just the line in the sand for either you're with us or against us when it comes to the Chris Middleton discussion?
That could be it too. And hey, Milwaukee and Wisconsin, we love being everybody against us. So it could be that line in the sand. But I am curious to see what it is. It looks like the state line to me. I wonder if it's water related, because I mean the blue is based on the Great Lakes and the rivers and so on. So just have to see once the Bucks actually release it and explain how that jersey and uniform set ties into the city.
We shall see. A couple quick final thoughts on this jersey leak. We will get to that coming up after this on Locked On Bucks. We will do that after we talk to you about our friends at FanDuel. You've heard us mention them. They're America's #1 sports book. Now we have something a little different for you. Through September 22nd, all FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Then with a YouTube TV-based plan, you will be able to watch every regular season Sunday afternoon out-of-market game. All you need is a Google account and a current form of payment, and you can cancel at any time. Just head over to FanDuel.com to download America's #1 sportsbook. All right, so again, if you're just tuning in, blue. The apparent city edition jersey for the Bucks is going to be blue once again. We wait to see any other tweaks to the jerseys for this season. I would assume the same stable with the black antler edition as their other alternates, and no mention of a classic jersey this year. That was another thing that I know Dustin Godsey had talked about, that it requires rationale and specific tie-ins to get those going. And we mentioned the Raptors celebrating their 30th anniversary, the Warriors as well, with the tie-in to that early 60s team. So now we just wait to see the logic and what the meaning is behind this jersey. But yes, that would be my request. I think our requests go forward. Let's work in some Irish rainbow if we can, or maybe one of these years we'll see like a camo or an orange jersey here for the Bucks. That'll do it for this bonus episode. Though, if you missed it earlier today, Camille and I went through the Bucks case versus some other contenders in the Eastern Conference, specifically the Philadelphia 76ers and the New York Knicks. So be sure to check out that episode and leave your thoughts as well. If you have not, give us a follow and subscribe as well. It helps out the channel and keeps you in touch and up to speed with all the episodes that we post as they happen, such as the live shows, as we did this morning on that contenders discussion. That'll do it for this one, though. We're back once again tomorrow with a full episode. For Camille, I'm Justin. We'll talk to you once again tomorrow on Locked On Bucks.